Cadillac was a French soldier, explorer, and founder of Detroit. He was also the governor of Louisiana at one point. He arrived to the States at the age of 25. Before the discovery of Detroit, he also was the commander of Fort Michilimackinac. When he went to Detroit, he didn't want it to be a fort like how he was previously commander. He wanted it to be a small French colony, which then turned into a French outpost for the fur trade. He didn't stop here. Cadillac built Fort Pontchartrain on the north bank. One thing that Cadillac was known for was always making a profit. Cadillac helped with the circulation of brandy throughout the era. Since there was such a demand and a limited supply, Cadillac upcharged a lot, which got him a lot of money and profits. Traders started to only accept alcohol as payment, and letters were sent to superiors to get sanctions against Cadillac because they were worried that nobody was going to be prepared for the winter months. Cadillac's mischievous trading got hit when the outpost at Fort Michilimackinac was shut down. He lost his income, and he went to France to fight and eventually was allowed permission to establish fort at Detroit. Detroit wasn't any different. He continued to practice extortion. Cadillac wanted to be the only one who traded in the lower Great Lakes. He charged for everything at the fort, even the surrounding area that had already been cleared and people had already been living on. Cadillac thought every activity needed a cost. Cadillac controlled all of Fort Detroit. Then Miami started to attack Detroit, and that fight was over shortly with 3 hostages and beaver skins that Cadillac kept for himself. By this time, Cadillac was very much hated by everyone in the fort and its surrounding areas. Cadillac was then removed from Fort Detroit. This is when Cadillac was appointed governor of Louisiana. Cadillac took his time getting to his new territories as he went to Montreal and Quebec to fill out claims to properties in the Detroit area. His command at Louisiana was taken away, and he had to choose to either go to Quebec or Paris. Eventually, he made his way back to France, where he was arrested as soon as he stepped foot. Cadillac ended up with no rights in the New World, but was given money for what he had lost. This was when he passed away at the age of 72. This is James Jesse Strange. Strange was born in New York State in 1813. This is where he got married and had his first 3 children. Strange had moved many times before he landed himself in Michigan. He was known as a prophet and a seer of God to his Mormon followers. He set to northern Michigan to find a safe refuge for his people. This is where Beaver Island became his secluded harbor. He made himself the king of Beaver Island and his followers. Before Strange came to the island, it had been accompanied by fishermen, and this caused a lot of conflict. The natives to this land eventually left their homes and moved off the island because they didn't want to deal with all the conflicts anymore. After they left and Strange won the fight, he pushed his power even farther. He required the people directly under him in his Mormon church to have at least 2 wives. He then was arrested because of charges in federal court, but wasn't long till the court hearing, and he won his case because he had previously went to law school. And this got him and his followers back to Beaver Island. Then he was elected into state legislature. Then a couple of people came to him as he was walking onto the boat to meet with the captain and shot him 3 times, but they did not successfully assassinate him. He passed away 23 days after this accident. When the city of Detroit was founded by Cadillac, it was found to be a French outpost to control the rich fur trade. Detroit was the perfect area for fur trading. The river was the most narrow and had the highest banks for defense. The river connected to Lake Erie, then Lake Ontario, St. Lawrence River, and finally ends in the Atlantic Ocean. You could get anywhere you wanted by this one river connection. As the industry grew greater, the Indians started working with the French. But then, after the French and Indian War, Detroit was now under British rule. The British implemented more organized trading, which made the industry flourish. But then unregulated trade started. This increased with the use of liquor and fur trade, but then slowly the beaver skin and beaver hats were going out of trend. This is when the fur trade started to slowly die down. With the end of the fur trading era, traders entered new businesses and made a new life for themselves, such as lumbering, mining, railroading, or even real estate.